Good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the Formula Racing League Le Mans Ultimate, sponsored and powered by Cube Controls. Round 2 at Le Mans. Here we are, week 2, Friday night action, live on YouTube. If you are watching live, welcome to the live stream. Drop a like on the video, pop into the chat, say hello. I will be your commentator tonight, Lewis Robinson, bringing you the action from round 2 tonight. We have got Hypercar GT3 in action, and last week was an absolute stormer of a race at Spa. We had mixed conditions, started dry, went to wet, finished dry, and we had some superb performances out on track, and let's hope for some similar action tonight. So what's in store? We're going to bring you the current standings after round 1, both in Hypercar and GT3. We'll get to those in a moment. We'll have a look at the calendar to see what's up and coming for the rest of the season. And yeah, we'll have a look at some of the drivers on track, see who to watch out for. As you can see on your screens right now, we've got about 14 minutes remaining of free practice, so the drivers are very much just dialing in their setups, dialing in the track, trying to get up to speed ahead of qualifying. And one man who is certainly up to speed already is the car on your screens right now, number 5 Porsche Ursu, with a 3-minute 25, just over half a second quicker than the nearest car in Hyper. And in GT3 the action, the pace is being set by Giovanni. So yeah, we'll get through the drivers in a moment. Let's have a look at the standings, shall we? So let's just bring up the standings in Hyper. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Okay, so last week's winner was Francesco Adamu. He absolutely took the checkered flag in a convincing style in the Ferrari. He finished first place and he's on 31 points. Johannes Priest came second in the Peugeot. He's on 30 points, just 1 point behind. And Jules Aleman came third. In fourth we have Adam Sesplar. Fifth, Amicus Kiss. Sixth, Brandon Geitz. Seventh, Michel Diaz. Eighth, Valerio Ascioni. Ninth, Timo Braun. And 10th, Patrick Den. So that's the top 10 in Hypercar. As you can see, it's only one round, so the points are going to be very close. But you know, that standings should get quite interesting as the weeks and races go on. Let's have a quick look over to GT3. And with GT3, Joseph Challer took the checkered flag in first place in the Porsche GT3. I think he started third or fourth on the grid, and he really did have a massive battle with Kasperzik. So we'll be interested to see if those two can reignite that battle tonight at Le Mans. Third place was Lasik. Fourth was Leonardo Vera. Fifth, Timo Bigot. Sixth, Danny Gould. Seventh, Pavel Vutugins, so apologies for the pronunciation of some of these names. 8th, Craig Starkey. 9th, Rudy Vermeulen. And 10th, Carl Van Horn. So again, as I said with the Hyper, very close in the standings. It has only been one round, but yeah, hopefully you've got some of your drivers that you are supporting up on the list there. And yeah, as I said with the Hypers, it'll be interesting to see how the GT3s get on. Can Joseph Challer make it 2 out of 2? I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, if you are watching, please do drop. Let me know in the comments if you're watching live, who you're supporting, where you're watching from. It's always good to see some of the live chat during the race, during the stream, and I will try and get round to chat and keep up to date with it best I can. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week. You know, be it at work, or at college, school, university, at home, whatever you've been doing. Hope it's been a good week, and I hope you're looking forward to another weekend. So let's just have as well a quick look through at the upcoming races we've got. So let me just flip my screen over to the calendar. Here we go. So here we are tonight, April the 25th at Le Mans. Next week we head to Sebring. Now, just before actually I continue, it's a very important reminder, this is the final round of the seeded race. So what that means is, due to the number of sign-ups we've got going on in this season, which has been a fantastic number of sign-ups, they are going to be split into two splits almost effectively. Split 1 will be live streamed that you're watching right now from Sebring. So this is the final race for the drivers to make that impression, to get into the top split. So from Sebring, we'll see the grid just get a little bit smaller as the drivers are split into those relevant splits based on pace and based on the finishing positions at Spa and Le Mans. So May the 9th, we will then head to Portimao, Algarve, a fantastic track for elevation change. That should really produce some great racing. May the 16th, we head to Italy. The Festival of Speed of Monza, Turn 1 is going to be absolute carnage, and you need to make sure you've got May 16th in your diaries for that Turn 1 action. May 23rd, we head to Bahrain. May 30th is back into Italy for Imola, and the season finale on June the 6th at Le Mans with the no chicane variants. That is just going to be all about top speed. As a reminder, we have got the weather. That's kind of been scripted. We have one drop round for the drivers in case they can't make all the races in the season. Prizes are up for grabs, and that brings me perfectly on to the sponsor, which is Cube Controls. They are an Italian company producing some real top quality sim racing equipment, pedals and wheels, etc. And the prizes they've got on offer in this season is just some of the best prizes I think I've seen in sim racing for quite some while. There's a set of pedals, and there's their latest wheel up for grabs for the drivers winning the relevant prizes. So yeah, there's a lot of competition, a lot of decent prizes to be won, and just a thank you as well to Cube Controls for their amazing support for this series. And then, as I said, as you can see there on your screen as well, on the right hand side, Tier 1 is going to be 30 drivers and Tier 2 will be 32 drivers, give or take 1 or 2 based on dropouts. So I know there is a waiting list to get into this season. So yes, if you're interested, if you're new to sim racing, then join the Formula Racing League Discord. There are a great bunch of guys over there on Discord, and this is only going to get bigger and better as this season's progress on Le Mans Ultimate, as there is a big update heading the game's way with driver swaps and endurance, and I know Chris Jones, the head admin over at FRL, will be all over it with bringing new races and content and seasons to this game and to the FRL community. So yeah, please do check out the Discord if you are wanting to get involved. There is a waiting list, I believe, to kind of get involved with this season, but places will open up because not everyone will race every single week, that is for sure. Just over 6 minutes to go for free practice, and let's have a look at some of the drivers, shall we? Let's just see what we can bring you. We'll start with the GT3s. So Alex Zakdal currently out on track, currently 4th on the timings. And tell you what, I'm just going to quickly change the overlays, just bear with me. There we go. So Alex Zakdal currently out on track. The top 3, Kasperzik, Giovanni and Lasik are all in the pits. Zakdal's out on track. We have got Tom Curtin out on track currently. Rudy Vermeulen. Phil Birkinshaw, the number 46, he's just gone back into the pits. And Pavels Vetlugens is currently on his outlap in the BMW as well. Stu Rogers, who I believe Stu Rogers is making his debut tonight. I know there is a driver who is new tonight. I can't recall if it is Stewie or it could be Michael Munich. So forgive me for the inaccuracy there on the commentary, but I believe it could be Michael Munich making his debut tonight. One of those two anyway. And here is the winner from last week, who's currently in the pits, Joseph Chadder. Hopefully we'll see him on track during qualifying, which I'm sure we will do. Let's have a look over at Hypercar. Not many cars out on track for Hyper. But one man who is out on track is this guy on your screens right now, Chris Jones. It's the head admin I was referring to just a few moments ago. I think his tactic tonight was survive the first lap, fuel the car accordingly, and hope for the best. That is the top level ambition for Chris Jones tonight. Chris Teller, the number 7, currently off the pace slightly, 5 seconds back, but he's not the slowest. The slowest is currently Craig Lewis. He's 14 seconds off the pace, but I don't think that will be a representative lap time for Craig. And we have Simon Turner as well, 9.8 seconds off. But this is only free practice. It's all about just getting comfortable with the car, getting comfortable with the track. Okay, I'm just going to take a very quick break, just to get myself ready for qualifying. I'll be back with you in about 90 seconds or so. I'm just going to go refill my drink and just check the sound levels on the stream as well to make sure you guys can hear me nice and clear. I'll be back with you in about 90 seconds or so, just before qualifying. Okay, welcome back. I am back with you. Just under a minute now before quali, so just a reminder, this is going to be a split qualifying session as well. The Hypers and GT3 cars do go out separately as we see the Hypercar ahead of Alex Zakdow completely locking that front right tyre and misses the apex by some way. So yeah, We'll be able to bring you the live coverage of the qualifying in just over 30 seconds time. And I know a few of you are watching now, so hi, welcome to the live stream. Mark Conway and Ben Milden in the chat. Well, maybe I had just posted the live stream link in the Simtech Chronicle Racing Team's Discord, and look, my fellow boys are here with me, supporting and cheering me on, but also supporting the stream. So welcome along, Mark Conway and Ben Milton. Good to have you guys join us. Make sure you drop a like on the video. What better entertainment on a Friday than listening to my dulcet tones in the commentary box and watching some Hypers and GT3 cars at Le Mans. It will be interesting to see what the weather happens tonight as well. And obviously last week at Spa we had those mixed conditions. I think the forecast is a little bit different for tonight. I'm not going to actually I will have a look at the forecast actually before the race gets going to see what the indications look like, but I think they do look a little bit different to what we were experiencing at Spa last week. So the timer has just flicked down to the checkered flag for free practice, and the drivers will be finishing their laps, and qualifying will shortly be underway with a split qualifying session. I am avoiding the sarcastic comments in the live chat right now from Ben and Mark. They're going to get yellow carded in a moment. Hopefully Ben and Mark in the live chat are supporting their fellow SRT driver, Peter van Lys out there, the number 75 Porsche, currently sat in 15th place in Hypercar. Okay, let's just have... I think the server is just doing its thing, just bear with me. So, qualifying is now underway, and these hypercars are now starting to leave the pit lane, waiting for that green flag. Green flag has now, green light has gone on for the pit lane, and the marshal is just signalling for the cars to leave. So, let's try and find out which driver is out up ahead. So Francesco Adamu, who won the race last week, on board with him now. See the drivers there really trying to get some heat into those tyres, weaving, and the sun has come out as well for quali. It was quite cloudy. I think got a hypercar there, just grazing the wall, doing a little bit of grass cutting, maybe trying to get out of the way or just sorting some settings. But yeah, drivers are really trying to get the temperatures into those tyres. Let's actually get on board with Francesco just to see what it's looking like from his POV. You can see there, just weaving left to right, quite closely by the car up ahead, trying to get that heat in the tyre. Adam Modan as well, he had a strong quali performance last week. Andre Ursu. Brandon Geitz just leaving the pit lane now, and let's just have a quick look at Peter van Lys because the SLT boys are in the live stream, live chat watching now. And here is Peter on screen from Simtech Chronicle Racing. Go on, Peter. Best of luck, my good friend. And look at the track here, very busy track. It's almost like a like the race start, the amount of cars on this piece of tarmac are going to have to start getting separated before they get into towards the end of the lap to get the space for their first flying lap. Still aggressively weaving, getting the heat into the tyres. Chris Tedder is in there as well in that group, and Valerio Astioni, as we got the car just kicking up a little bit of gravel up ahead. Alex Alfonso for the Peugeot, and Craig Hill. So if you're not familiar with the track Le Mans, it is quite a long lap, 3 minutes plus. So drivers haven't got too many laps for quali. They've got to make sure they fuel their car accordingly and have their mapping correct on the car for the push laps. And they really need to get everything dialed in 100% because they don't have that many laps in order to set the optimum time, and they have only got a limited amount of minutes. 6 minutes remaining. It's probably 2 laps, maybe 2 laps at most, I would say. Tom Brunel's in the live chat. Good luck, boys and girls. Good evening, Tom. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed the show last week with the family or the wife. I don't think it was a family show, if I remember correctly. So Andrei Ursu just getting a little bit of space, is holding back. There's a car behind him as well, the number 5 Porsche. And we'll soon see where we are. We're on board with Adamu. He's now on his flying lap. This is his first push lap for Francesco Adamu, the number 51. It's a 31.8 in the first sector. I can tell you though, it's showing us purple on there, but it isn't actually the quickest sector 1 time. The quickest sector 1 time goes to this guy on your screen right now, Adam Modan. He set a 31.842. That is the quickest driver in sector 1 thus far. 300 kph, 307, 311, and kph is just climbing and climbing and climbing, now up to 323 kph down this back straight, onto the brakes, flick the car left, flick the car right, straighten it up on the loud pedal and get the kph climbing up once more. Looked fairly smooth from Adam. Good evening, Fire Victor. Looks good fun. Sadly couldn't race myself since I was in Imola last week for some random race. Well, being in Imola is not a bad thing. That is a great track. But welcome along to the live stream. So, Sector 2 times. Adam Modan on your screen is still setting the pace, 80.245. It is extremely close between Adam Modan and Francesco Adamu already, and Adamu's got a nice little bit of slipstream there from that Peugeot. In fact, he's going to be side by side, and he just pulls in front. So the pace is very, very close in the first 2 sectors between Francesco Adamu and Adam Modan. No one else is matching their lap time so far. These two are in the 31s in Sector 1 and the 80.2s in Sector 2. No one else is matching them. So these two are the quickest. We're going to see where they come on, where they come over the line. Adam will be the first over the line as he's coming through the Porsche curves. See the grip through there. That's going to be the real test of the aero and the lateral grip of the cars through the Porsche curves. So here we are. Final few corners, final few twists and turns. We've got a car parked off to the right. What is it going to be over the line for Adam Modan? It's going to be a 3 minute 24.3. Adam Seslar comes across with a 32. Where is Adamu? Here he comes. Adamu, a 3 minute 23.7. So 0.6 quicker than Adam Moden. I did say those two were very close on pace, and it is proving to be the case. And you can see the times now just flying in on the left hand side of your screen. So Illinger third, 0.7 off, Kiss fourth, Braun fifth, Tedder sixth, Ascioni, Hill, Pedro Sodre, Den, Cesplar all coming in. We're now on board with Andre Ursu, who brings the Porsche to fifth. Who else do we have yet to set a time? We've got Brandon Geitz, Gilles Alleman yet to set a time, Benjamin Eck, Alfonso, Peter van Lieshout, Cody Besselink, so they've got one more flying lap, I believe. But Adamu is in the box, so your provisional pole sitter, Adamu, is in the pits. I think those who did get across the checkered flag will have time for one more flying lap if they set their cars up correctly. But where will Brandon Geitz come? P5 for Geitz, so a good lap from Brandon, 1.5 of provisional pole. And Gilles Alleman is still on an outlap. Benjamin Eck, he's just coming through the Porsche curves now, I believe. Peter van Lieshout, Cody Besselink, Mitchell Diaz still not set a time. I don't think Alleman is going to get a time in. Gilles Alleman is still showing us on an outlap from me, so I think Gilles Alleman is potentially going to start from the back of the pack. Let's see what Benjamin Eck can produce there. He was looking pretty racy in free practice. Benjamin Eck, P6. Where's Peter van Lieshout? He's still not gone through Sector 2. He must have got across the line before the checkered flag came out for the Hypercar class. And Cody Besselink as well is still out on track as well. .82.9 in the first sector, 81.8 in the second. Target lap time of a 3 minute 23.7 for provisional pole. Tom Brunel coming in there with some good info. Aleman binned it apparently. Some support coming in for Dominic Illinger as well, who did very well with a P4. In fact, I think he's still going as we're coming across the line now. Cody Besselink, P17. So Dominic Illinger is now back in the pits. Brandon Geitz is still going. So Brandon Geitz, who was 2.4 off provisional pole, I think he's got enough time to get a second lap in. I am going to switch to the GT3 shot because the GT3s will also be coming out on track now, doing their outlaps. Peter van Lieshout not yet set a time, and he's gone wide as well. That's not going to be the optimum time, the optimum line to get a time on the leaderboard. But let's just switch to GT3 as they're all on that outlap. As you can see, we now see rinse and repeat. The GT3s are doing what the Hypers are doing, weaving on the straights, getting their tyres nice and warm and ready for their first set of flying laps. I will keep an eye on the leaderboard as well. Actually, I'll still just keep up the leaderboard for Hyperclass until we get underway for the GT3s, just so you can see that on your left hand side of your screen. So as you can see there, Adam Moden currently provisional pole, Adamu and Cesplar and Illinger Kiss round out the top 5, which is a Ferrari first couple, Ferrari have locked out the first couple of rows there with Brandon Geitz and the Peugeot just spoiling the Ferrari party. Brandon Geitz is now in the pits. Benjamin Eck is still showing on a flyer. Peter van Lieshout managed to set a time of a 3:47, and that is good enough only for last place. And Gilles Aleman, who did not get a time, and he's still out on track, but I don't think he's on a flying lap. So Gilles Aleman will be starting from the back. So that is your hyperclass: Adam Moden, Francesco Adamu, and Adam Cesblar. A lot of Adams there for me to get confused on. So our focused shifts to GT3. And we're on board with Kasperzik. Let's see what these boys in these great machines can do. Taron, how are we doing? Another SRT driver in the live chat. Hope you're doing well, Taron. Best wishes to you and your brother. Here is last week's winner, Manthe Porsche, Joseph Chadder. That Mustang sounds so good. Jamie Rees, Proton Racing in the Mustang. Just backing off and getting a little bit of space ahead of his flying lap. I'm all good, thank you very much, Taron. I'm all good, mate. Thank you. Enjoying some commentary action on a Friday night. What better way to spend it? So, Tom Curtin, he is underway. Let's go on board with the BMW for Team WRT, number 46. Let's see how this BMW is looking compliant on its first flying lap. SRT take over the stream. SRT boosting the viewing numbers for FRL this evening. There is a lot of you watching tonight, so thank you for everyone for joining the live stream, and I hope you're looking forward to the race that's going to be underway in about 5 minutes time. Please do check out the series sponsor, Cube Control's fantastic sim racing hardware up for grabs this season over on Cube Controls. I believe there is a sale on their website at the moment, so please do check them out, and like and subscribe on the video for Formula Racing League. We've got many weeks of Friday night action to bring you this season on Le Mans Ultimate with Formula Racing League TV. So let's just have a look at the sector times. The quickest so far is Kasperzik. He's done a 37.5. That is purple out of everyone so far, I believe. I'm just flicking down my telemetry data just to double check that. The only other driver in the 37s is Alex Zakdow in the McLaren. Actually, forgive me. Kasperzik has not set a purple lap time in Sector 1. The quickest driver in Sector 1 is Leonardo Vera in the Mustang. He has set an almighty pace of a 37.5 in Sector 1. Let's see how that progresses as he goes through to Sector 2 timing screens. And we've got the first couple of cars going through the Sector 2 timing splits now, with Pavel's Vetlugens with a 96.6, Rudi Vermeulen and Derek Burra. Jamie Rees has also gone through that Sector 2 split. Kasperzik now with a 94.6 as well. So just keep an eye on Kasperzik and Leonardo Vera, because Vera was the one keeping pace with Kasperzik. .7 for Leonardo in sector 2, so it's just a tenth off Kasperzik. First set of drivers will be coming across the line very shortly, and I do believe Pavel's Vetlugas will be one of the first across the line. Just sick on board with that BMW, who was taking a lot of curb, and here he comes across the line now to set the first recorded lap time of a 4:06. Vermeulen goes quicker. Let's see how Kasperzik is getting on. Derek comes across the line in third, 2.1 seconds off Vermeulen. Here comes Kasperzik. Probably will be provisional pole. It will be, with a 4-minute flat 0.6. But the man we need to watch out for, let's get him up on your screens right now. Where is he? I'm trying to find his name. Leonardo Vera. This is the man we need to watch out for in the Ford Mustang, coming through the Porsche curves now. What can he do versus Kasperzik in the BMW? There's some more times as well. Danny Gould with the Ford. Zach Dow on the front row in P2 in the McLaren. Only 0.4, and they're going to have time for a second flying lap. So Zach Dow within touching distance of Kasperzik, but where is Leonardo Vera going to come? What can he do in this final sector in this Ford Mustang as Joseph Chadha goes onto the second road in P3, 1.8 off Kasperzik. Remember, the target lap time is a 4:06. Leonardo round the final corner, straightening the Ford Mustang up across the line, and it's only P2. It's only P2 for Leonardo. He's 0.3, 3 tenths off, and that's his lap done. That's his qualifying done. He's pulling off, so that is the best. So provisional pole is with Kasperzik. And Alex Zakdow very close for the top 3, really 3 and 4 tenths in it. The one I am surprised at is this man on your screens right now, Joseph Chadha, last week's winner at Spa. I'm surprised he's 1.8 off. He's in the Porsche. Not sure how the Porsche BOP compares around here compared to the BMW. I would imagine the Mustang is pretty quick around here, but the BMWs are certainly dominating that top 10 so far in GT3 qualifying, as we see with the Ferraris dominating in the Hypercar class. We've still got several drivers not yet set a lap time as well. Just quickly flick through those. There's William Giovanni, Tom Curtin, Stephen Martin, Alex Nieto, Michael Munich and Timo Bigot have not yet set a lap time in GT3, as we see Tom Brunel as well down in 17th place, Jamie Rees in 16th. We'll bring you the full order. At the end of this session in a few moments. But Alex Zakdow, he has gone a tenth quicker than Kasperzik. So Kasperzik and Leonardo Vera are in the pits. So this is all down to Alex Zakdow, who's probably the most likely challenger to Kasperzik on provisional pole. So he's a tenth quicker in sector 1. We'll stick on board with Alex Zakdow for Inception Racing on this lap to see what he can do. This is it. This is all or nothing now. The checkered flag has been waved for these GT3 class drivers. And this is where Alex Zakdow has just got to find pretty much 4.5 tenths. He's already found a tenth in sector 1. He's got to find more if he wants to take pole position in GT3 off Kasperzik. Blimey, I'm getting tired already commentating. I've not even got into the race yet. This is pretty exciting stuff in qualifying. Oh, zacked down the rear of that McLaren, getting very lively. He somehow keeps the car pointing in the right direction, but he's going to lose a little bit of time there. What can he produce? Oh, he's boxing. He's aborted that lap. He's aborted that lap. Danilo Lysick, he's being pushed around the corner by the Ford Mustang. Joseph Chadha is still flying as well out on track, but he's not gaining any time. Danny Gould, who currently occupies 6th, he's just pulling over as well. Who can we still find on a flying lap? Carl Van Horn in the Aston Martin, on board with him now, the 777 Aston Martin. So it's looking very likely Kasperzik is going to take. No, he doesn't! There's a new taking pole position in GT3 is William Giovanni. What a lap! A 3-minute 59.8. We missed that. I missed him on the timing screens. He just flashed up in front of me on screen. What a lap from Giovanni to take pole in GT3. Wow, right at the death. Kasperzik will be absolutely gutted with that, but what a lap from William Giovanni. Let's just bring you the full order in qualifying then. So, Adam Moden, pole position for Hyper. Francesco Adamu in 2nd and Adam Sesplar in 3rd. Illinger 4th, Geitz 5th, Kiss and Eck 6th and 7th, Ursu 8th, Braun 9th and Chris Tedder in 10th. And in GT3, it should be on your screens in a very brief moment. William Giovanni, Kasperzik and Vera for the top 3. Alex Zakdow, Danilo Lysick, Joseph Chadha, Danny Gould, Tom Curtin, Nigel Longden and Pavel Vetlugens is the top 10 in quali. Wow, that is a fantastic qualifying session.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So as you can see there, row 1, Adam Moden, Francesco Adamu. The starting order is just coming up on your screens now. So row 2, Adam Sesplar, Dominic Illinger. Row 3 is Brandon Geitz and Domikos Kiss. Row 4 is Benjamin Eck and Andrea Ursu, P7 and 8th. And row 5 is Timo Braun and Chris Tedder in the Toyota. Row 6, Alex Alfonso and Valerio Ascioni.
Formation lap has started.
Row 7 is Craig Hill and João Pedro Sodra. Row 8, Chris Jones, Patrick Dent. And row 9, Cody Besselink and Jan Barth. row 10, Maurizio Savona and Simon Turner in 20th position. Row 11, Craig Luer and Peter van Lieshout in 22nd for Hypercar. And row 12 is your GT3s with William Giovanni and Kasprizik. Leonardo Vera and Alex Zakdal for row 2 in GT3. And Joseph Chadha there on row 14. Danny Gould, Tom Curtin, row 15. And Nigel Longdon and Pavel Vetlugan in row 16. And we're going to be getting ready for green flags shortly. So let's just keep our eyes on these two Ferraris at front. 51 and the 50, Adam Moden and Francesco Adamu. Here we go. We're getting ready for round 2 of Formula Racing Leagues powered by Cube Control at Le Mans, and we're green flag. We're away racing at Le Mans. The 2 Ferraris get away nicely. The 4 Ferraris, the 5 Ferraris. It's a Ferrari party at Le Mans as the orange 83 Ferrari had a lock down the inside, but Francesco Adamu down the inside of Moden. They're side by side, they're switching, they're trying to do the switch back on each other. The 83 Ferrari of Adam Sesplar trying to get involved as well, but Adam Moden leads the pack away. Let's go on board with Francesco Adamu. Can he keep Sesplar behind? He can. So the 3 Ferraris, the 4 Ferraris get away nicely. I keep forgetting how many Ferraris there are on this grid. But so far, it looks a pretty good starting order from everyone. There's no yellow flags from what I can see. Let's have a look at GT3. Alex Zakdal is leading the pack. Kasprizik is in second. Joseph Chadha has had a great start up into P3, and Giovanni, who was on pole position in GT3, he's had a disaster of a start. He's down in 4th. Danny Gould, we've got side-by-side action in GT3 going on behind. We've got 4 wide. We've got a Hypercar coming through as well. That's Gilles Aliman, who did start from the back row. Leonardo Vera going into the first chicane. So, pretty tame. Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got a spinner. Who is that? Is that Lysick? No. I'm trying to find who that was. I'll find out who that was in a moment. But we had a BMW who, I don't know if he was hit off or if he just lost it in on entry. I'm not too sure. But, pretty good start from everyone. But back up front in Hypercar, Adamu, Moden and Sesplar. And Adamu is under extreme pressure. They're now side by side, Adamu and Moden. And the 83 Sesplar is just keeping these two boys honest up in front. We've got a yellow flag being waved as well. Let's have a look at the positions gained and lost so far on your screens. There you see Craig Hill down in losing 8th and Aliman up 24 already, but as you can see he was starting at the back of the pack for the entire pack, so he will be making a lot of positions. So what can Moden do now? Can he get in that slipstream? But Adam Sesplar is looking quite close to him as well. As they flick the car right, get the car slowed down, turn it in left, try and hit the apex, don't run too wide, a little bit of dust, a little bit of gravel being chucked onto the track there, but all pretty single file at the moment. Well, what a start. I'm just trying to get my bearings to see where everyone is. Back on board with the GT3s, Danny Gould under a little bit of pressure from Lysick. That is the BMW of Lysick. You can see now on board with Danny Gould in P6 and 7 respectively for GT3. And very close is Giovanni to Kasprizik. He's only 3 tenths behind Kasprizik at the last timing. Moden, again, the hypercars are very much bunched together, a bit more so than the GT3s at this moment in the race. It is an hour and 20-minute race, so there's plenty of action to get through over the course of the next hour or so. on Formula Racing League TV, round 2, powered by Cube Controls. Pretty reserved from everyone at the moment, just settling in to the race. Kasprizik is very close to Joseph Chada, going in to the first corner at the Dunlop. What can Kasprizik do? Chada has moved up to P2. It's a great racing from the Porsche driver, Joseph Chada. Can Kasprizik respond, or is he going to have the pressure from Giovanni behind him? Danny Gould as well, looking pretty racy with the Mustang. That is Tom Curtin. No, sorry, beg your pardon. That is the 44 Danny Gould is the Mustang. Rudy Vermeulen down in P15 for GT3. Just trying to close up on Derek up ahead in the Mustang. Now he's going to make a move now. Is he having a little bit luck? No, he's just setting the car up for the straight. Now what's happened in Hypercar, because Adamu is leading, but where has Adam Moden gone? He's all the way down in 14th, so Adam Moden's had a moment, we've missed that on stream, he's gone all the way down into 14th. So not sure what's happened there for Adam. He's lost 13 places. He's now extremely close to Cody Besselink. He pulls to the right hand side of the track, and this will probably be his move done up into 12th. He does, he gets the move done. So Adam, the recovery drive is on. So we've got a lot of Hypercar locking its brake. We've got cars off. I thought it's Jan Barth. Is that Jan Barth and Chris Jones? It is. It's Chris Jones and Jan Barth coming together, and that Cadillac is trying to get going again. Disaster for Chris Jones. He won't be happy that I caught that live on stream. Sorry, Chris. Let's just go back to Kasprizik, because there's been a lead. There's changes in the lead as well. Joseph Chada is now leading in GT3. Kasprizik is P2. William Giovanni P3. So what has happened in GT3 is all happening. I'm just trying to find. Giovanni in third. I tell you who has had an absolute storming first couple of laps is this guy on your screens right now, Timo Bigger. He's up 15 places. He's P10 in class. Up 15 from the start. That is a phenomenal first opening couple of laps. And to be fair, Ian Thompson as well, up 6 behind in the Mustang. But just on board with Timo. He's now side by side with the BMW of Pavel Vetlugens, and he gets the move done, so up into 9th. So I said he's up 15, he's now up 16. So look, keep your eyes out for Timo Bigot, chap, because this BMW is flying through the GT3 field as Pavel Vetlugens almost had another look up the inside there through the Porsche curves. So Brandon Geitz up into P2 for Hyper. So Adam Sesplar has also dropped down as well. So I wonder if Sesplar and Moden must have had a coming together, very similar to Chris Jones. That must have what happened. As Dominic Illinger in P3 is only 4/10 behind Brandon Geitz. The front runners very similar. You look at your leaderboard on the left hand side of your screens now, you can see how close they are really. You've got Geitz, Illinger and Kiss all running very close, and we've got Illinger blocking the brakes locking the brakes. That's Ursu back there. And Kiss scrapping over 4th and 5th. This is Domikos Kiss making the move on Andre Ursu. He's pulled to the left hand side. He's going to get the move done. He has. Can he get the move done in the braking zone? Can he stay there though? Because Ursu's going to go up the inside again. No, he isn't. He's going to back out. And that is fantastic battling between the two drivers. Ursu keeps 4th, Kiss 5th. Patrick Den battling away for Alfonso. And this is back with the GT3s because Kasprizik has closed up yet again to Chadha, 3/10 in it, and you can see how close it is. Giovanni is behind them, Leonardo Vera following them, so we've got a 4-car battle for the lead in GT3. Let's just bring up the battle screen, shall we? Let's bring it up. There we go. So you can see how much of a gap these guys have pulled away from the rest of the field in GT3. We've got a couple of DNFs as well. Zach Dow's in the pits, Rees and Diaz all DNF from this race. So now BMW drag race going on between Kasprizik and Giovanni. On board with Giovanni now, side by side with the sister BMW of Kasprizik. They're 3 wide, the Ford Mustang. That is Leonardo Vera. We're 3 wide in GT3 at Le Mans Round 2 on Formula Racing League TV. 3 wide, ladies and gents. How is this going to end up? Who's your money on? The BMW tucks in behind and the Mustang goes. That is 2 places in 1 straight for Leonardo Vera. Fantastic driving from the 44 Mustang. I was just taking a breath. That was absolutely phenomenal driving from all 3 of them. There's been a change in P2 as well. Back onto Hypercar. Brandon Geitz dropped to 3rd, I believe. He's now 1/10 behind Dominic Illinger, and the slipstream is working wonders for the Peugeot. For Brandon, he's now side by side. Is he? No, he's not. He just tucks in behind the 51 Ferrari of Dominic Illinger. This is the battle for P2. While these boys squabble away, Francesco Adamu is just using this to his advantage and steaming up the road with a 2.1 second lead for Francesco Adamu. With the GT3s yet again, Kasprizik, they've got Jan Barth in the Hypercar trying to make their way through plugging my words out, through the field. Jan Barth we saw having that collision with Chris Jones a couple of laps ago, so coming onto the straight, the BMW tucking in behind Leonardo Vera. This is a battle for 2nd and 3rd in GT3 class. Chadha only 0.6 up the road. You see the Porsche there, the Mustang, the BMW, the 2nd BMW. Top 4 of Chadha, Vera, Kasprizik and Giovanni. So let's just, while we just wait for the action to reinstart, let's just do a through the field flick through, see where everyone is. So let's start with P1 in Hypercar. Francesco Adamu currently setting the pace. Dominic Illinger is P2. Brandon Geitz 3rd. Andre Ursu is 4th. Dominos Kiss in 5th. Benjamin Eck in 6th. Adam Sesplar in 7th, trying to make that recovery. He did start 3rd on the grid. He's now down into P7. He's having a look at Benjamin Eck. Not going to get the move done there. Adam Moden, who was P2, I believe, or P3, one of those two anyway, down in 8th position in class. Timo Braun, P9. Valerio Ascioni in P10. And Alex Alfonso, P11. Patrick Den, P12. Chris Tedder is in 13th. Cody Bessellink's 14th. And João Pedro Sodra in P15. Craig Hill, the number 8, is in P16 for Toyota. And Maurizio Savona, P17. And SRT's very own Peter van Lieshout down in 18th position, with Simon Turner just under 10 seconds behind him in 19th. And 6 seconds behind that is Chris Jones, P20. And Craig Lewer in 21st. We have Gilles Aleman, who has DNF'd from the race, and therefore Jan Barth is now the last running hypercar on track in 22nd position. Michel Diaz also a DNF'd hypercar. So that is Hyper. Let's have a look at GT3, because in GT3, while I've been going through the list of the hypercar, I've missed the lead change, and as you can see on your screens right now, Leonardo Vara has took the lead in GT3. He has got Joseph Chadha, the Porsche, right behind him. It's a four-way battle for GT3. These boys really are wanting some screen time tonight, because they're producing an absolute cracking four-way battle for the win here in round 2 on Formula Racing League TV. So Leonardo Vara leading that pack. Joseph Chadha is in 2nd, Kasperzik 3rd, and William Giovanni is in 4th. I'm am I going to stick on board with these guys? I'll just see what happens in the first couple of corners, because Kasperzik is looking very racy behind the Porsche. Chadha losing the lead. How is he going to respond? What's his mentality? What's his headspace going to be looking like? Because he's going to look in that rearview mirror and just see the front grills of that Beamer. Just stick on board for this for the moment, and I'll continue my flick through the standings for GT3. So Chadha just having a look, see where the apex, the braking zone was behind that Mustang. All pretty reserved so far. So I'm going to take this opportunity and have a flick through the pack. So running on his own at the moment is Danilo Lesak. He's 8.8 seconds off Giovanni, and he's got a 2.7 gap to Timo Bigger. He's now up to 6th. He's absolutely flying. He's now gained how many positions? Let's work this out. It should tab it on my screen any moment now. So Biggett's up 19 places. He must have really messed up his qualifying, because he's up 19, absolutely flying there. P7 is Tom Curtin. Stephen Martin's P8, and Ian Thompson having a very respectable race so far in P9. Pavel Svetlugins rounds out the top 10 in GT3. Danny Gould, P11, and Rudy Vermeulen is in P12 so far. And 3 seconds back from him is Carl Van Horn in the 777 Aston Martin in 13th position. Derek, bro, is actually on the tail of the 777 Aston Martin, Carl Van Horn. He's up in 14th. Derek, a very respectable race so far from him, with just over an hour remaining in this race. Nigel Longdon, P15. and Stu Rogers in 16th. Michael Munich's in 17th McLaren, and Tom Brunel, who was in the live chat earlier, he's now on track in 18th position in GT3 class. Mark Stewart 19th, Johnny Gilchrist 20th, Moody in 21st, and Phil Birkinshaw in 22nd for the 46 BMW for Team WRT. Alex Nieto 23rd, Alex Zakdow is a DNF, unfortunately. He was looking very quick in qualify, and Jamie Rees is also a DNF for the GT3 runners. So that is your running order. We'll do that again in around about half an hour's time to see how everyone's getting on and give everyone a little bit of a chance to be on screen, have their names read out. What have we got going on in Hypercar? So Dominic Illinger still P2 and Brendan Geitz, and as you can see now they're starting to reach the traffic, and this is where the carnage begins when you've got GT3s being lapped by the Hypercars. This is where you've got opportunities and mistakes, and all sorts can happen when the traffic, and this is what makes endurance racing so good. And as you can see just in your background there, you've got Kiss coming through. He's got actually by BMW and Aston Martin the 777. That's Carl Van Horn and Derek. He's passing there, I believe. Adam Sesblar. So through the Porsche curves. Very well behaved from everyone. Adam Moden still trying to close the gap. Half a second now to Benjamin Eck in P7. Oh, he's had to avoid the braking Mustang. He can't get through here, so Adam Moden will be losing time behind the Mustang, and now he can put the foot down and go out the final corner across the start-finish line with 58 minutes remaining in this race. Mark Conway, I'm here to the end. That's what I want to hear, Mark. The commitment for the live stream, the action on a Friday night, listening to my voice like you do every Friday anyway. That sounds a bit weird, but I know what I meant in my head. I'm normally chatting to you on Discord. Yeah, you're very much used to the sound of my voice. Just quickly flick back on board with Joseph Chandler. This four-way battle in GT3. It's still raging on, and I think these boys are going to be battling all the way to the end if this pace remains. Giovanni just dropping back ever so slightly on the back of Kasperzik. But what will be interesting is what happens with the pit strategy with these boys. Kiss getting closer and closer to Adam Sesblar. It is marked, yes, so it's based on the World Endurance Challenge WEC. So yes, it is based on this. Where you've got the official World Endurance Championships overlays on your screens. Nico Veldman, welcome to the live stream. You've joined at a very good time because we've got a four-way battle in GT3 going on. As we just switch the camera back to the 46 BMW of Kasperzik. And we have a three-way battle in Hypercar as well. So a three-way battle for the lead in Hypercar and a four-way battle for the lead in GT3. It is very much all action here for round two at Le Mans. on Formula Racing League. As we can just see more hypercars coming through the field now, through these leaders of GT3. Oh, we've got a spinner! We've got a spinner! Who is that? Is that Illinger? It is. It's Illinger. Illinger is off. He was challenging for the lead of the race in Hyper, and he's lost it coming through the Porsche curves. Whether he got distracted by one of the leading GT3s, I'm not too sure. But what that has enabled is Kasprizik. Kasprizik has now got an absolutely amazing opportunity to take second off Joseph Chadha. They're side by side. They've got a hypercar coming around them. So through turn one they go, the BMW and the Porsche. The Porsche's got the inside line. That is Chadha on the inside, in the Porsche, on the outside, the BMW. Can he get the move done? He just about, but Chadha is remaining there. They've got to deal with the hypercar as well, so they're still side by side through the Dunlop corners, turns 1, 2 and 3. Chadha eventually, does he tuck him behind? He does. So Chadha battled bravely, but eventually lost out to the BMW of Kasprizik. So Kasprizik back up to second place. Fantastic racing in GT3 tonight. Joseph Chadha and Kasprizik producing some ultimate action on Le Mans Ultimate. See, look at that pun there. That just rolled off the tongue, that did. But while those two were squabbling away, Leonardo Vera said, "That's it, boys. You continue fighting each other. I'm just going to get this Ford Mustang and fly up the road in 6th gear." Built a lead of 2 seconds now. Just got to be careful because he's got a hypercar just lurching in his blind spot there. He's probably crossing his toes and fingers, hoping not to be taken out, and he does so. Gets past successfully, shall I say. So Chadha, he might have lost second position, but he's wanting to get it back pretty quickly. Side by side, pulls alongside Kasprizik, and I believe that slipstream, that toe, has pulled him ahead. He has, so Chadha moves back up into second place, but it's going to be round 3 or probably round 9 now by the time these boys have been battling all race so far, because Kasprizik's going to get a roles reversal now. He's going to have to slipstream, he's going to have to tow behind that Porsche. And as my voice is about to break, Giovanni is just joining this action as well. The cameraman decides what he wants to do. There we go. So to the inside, almost trading paint. The Porsche is going to be very good on traction, and Giovanni is taking advantage of Kasprizik just going a little bit deep into the braking zone, and Giovanni has pulled ahead into third. So Kasprizik, who was looking to make a move on the Porsche, now finds himself behind William Giovanni. And as you can see in the rear view camera of how close he is, he's pretty much inside of the car. Oh, the hypercar goes to the left, tries to overtake him. He does some grass cutting, takes out one of the brake marker boards. That could have been one hell of a high-speed incident. Luckily, Giovanni and Kasprizik avoids it. And we've got dust being flown up in the background as well. The hypercar on the inside of Kasprizik, the Peugeot. Blimey, I need to. Whew, that was some crazy action. And Valerio Ascioni just jump on board with him in P11 in Hyper because he's closing in on Patrick Dent, who's being held up by GT3 traffic. Now clear of that. So battle for P10 and 11th in Hyper. And Carl Van Horn and Stu Rogers battling away as well. Got the other flags being waved by the marshals. So Carl Van Horn was under quite a lot of pressure earlier on in the race from Derek, and Derek's in the box. I think Derek's had an incident that's unfortunate for him. And we've also got Michael Munich and Patrick Van Lugens who have also DNF'd, so not sure what's happened to those two drivers, but that's unfortunate to see. Alex Nieto is now the last running runner in GT3. Carl Van Horn still going strong in 14th. Peter van Lieshout is also DNF from Hyper, so he's also had an incident. That's unfortunate to see for the SimTech Chronicle Racing driver. But let's just forget about that for the moment, because look at this. Look at the cars flying through, making the camera wobble as the cars speed past. This is the battle for GT3. Giovanni getting a little bit sideways there from the BMW. Kasperzik has just had a moment. He's fell back 1.6 in 4th place. But Giovanni is chasing down the Porsche of Joseph Chadder. I'm not too sure, Nico, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you which hypercar it was that drove into the wall. It was a BMW, I believe. Just a reminder, Leonardo Vera is your leading driver in GT3, now a lead of 2.1. And up front, Francesco Adamu is still leading Hyper, but Brandon Geitz has just closed that gap ever so slightly. It's now down to under a second, the battle for P1 and 2 in Hyperclass. And I'm just going to use this opportunity just to take a very short break to refresh my drink, because my voice has not stopped talking for the last 45 minutes and I can just feel it clinging on for dear life, probably very much like these tyres on this race. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds or so. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that. My voice tonight has well, it's been struggling a little bit all day. Let's just say that. So I'm having to keep my water. Well, I'm lying to you. It's not actually water. It's a stronger beverage, shall we say. Other drinks are available. I was having to keep the whistle wet, as we say in England. So just forgive me for a quick break off the comms while I topped up my drink, as my voice has been struggling. It doesn't help with this fantastic action we've got live on screen, because it's just means I'm constantly talking. But I'm not complaining. So, we're coming up to the pit stop window, I would imagine. And this is where it gets tricky for me, because I'm a one-man band, and having to keep an eyes on the telemetry, who's in the box, where they're coming out, where they're emerging on track, it's quite difficult. So do forgive me in advance if I don't capture every single tactical move going on. It is always easier when you have a dual commentator, and hopefully maybe one race this season I'll try and get a co-commentator in the box, because it is good having someone in the commentary box with me. We shall see. Maybe I can drag Mark Conway in here one night. Mark Conway's well, I say co-commentator, he'll probably be more of a bystander, but nonetheless, let's shift our attentions to what's happening up front. Brandon Geitz was closing that gap to Francesco Adamu, but that has just extended ever so slightly to 1.3 seconds. Gaps down the grid are fairly even, as you can see on your left hand side. Not too many battles going on in Hyper, apart from Patrick Den. He is just closing to Valerio Assetto. Battle for P10. GT3 though is where it's really hotting up. Timo Bigot, who was on an absolute charge, is still on a charge. He's in P6, but he's hunting down Danilo Lysak in P5 as the BMW just gets a little bit lively on exit, but all under control in the hands of Timo Bigot. And here, just a reminder, on the left hand side of your screen, you can see how many positions he has gained when it refreshes. Up 19 positions. He is, if he finishes this race, he is certainly going to be my pick for driver of the day. Because yes, he might have screwed up qualifying, but he's certainly making up for it in this race. And as you can see as well on your left hand side is the number of stops. So as you can see, no top 17 in GT3 have stopped yet. And you can also see the energy remaining in Hyper, and as you can see, Craig Lua is the first one in to the box in Hyper class alongside Simon Turner. So you can see the energy remaining for those drivers. Ursu is the lowest with 6%, so that is approaching the pit stop window. Ursu in 4th position, within half a second now to Adam Sessler, who's up to P3. Mark Conway there just with a straight nah. It's not easy, mate. You know, I know I make it sound so professional and so easy, but it isn't easy. It's not an easy job, let me tell you that. Don't feel sorry for me. But anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying the stream. There is lots of you watching, so you know, I know this sounds a little bit cheesy, but it is very much appreciated having so many of you watching live. But please do pop in the chat, say hi. I do love chatting to everyone watching. Makes my job much happier, chatting to people. This is why commentary is so good, bringing you the live action on a Friday night. It's all about the community of sim racers and sim racing in general. Running guys, closing the gap yet again. A bit like a yo-yo at the moment between these two. A yo-yo, up and down, up and down. The gap is now back down again to just over a second between Francesco Adamu and Brandon Geitz. Giovanni yet again closing the gap to Joseph Chadder. Kasprizik 3 seconds now, so Kasprizik lost some time. And on board with Timo Bigot, still hunting down Lysick. Oh, Lysick's gone deep. And that will be the 20th position gained for Timo Bigot. Thank you very much. The easiest overtake he's done all race, I bet. A mistake from the BMW driver lets the sister BMW through. So up into P5 is Timo Bigot. What a fantastic time, cameraman, to go on board with Timo to see that mistake. Almost like I predicted it. And William Giovanni looking extremely racy now with Joseph Chadha, the Porsche. Battle for P2. The gap to Leonardo Vera is still only 2.8. I believe it was about 2.1 about 15 minutes ago, so it's not extended that much. So the battle for first position in GT3 is far from over. Fantastic camera shot coming through the Porsche curves. See how compliant that Porsche is. It's looking a little bit lively in the rear, isn't it? And boxes, they're both boxed. All three are in. So all three are in. Leonardo, Joseph and William are all into the pits. That's a very aggressive pit entry as well. Fair play to them. And stomp on the brake pedal. So all three of the leading cars in GT3 are coming into the pits. Kasperzik joins them. Now it's the battle of the pit crews. Timo Bigot is coming in, so this is pretty much the limit of these GT3, so everyone is coming in on this lap. That makes my life easier with everyone having to box and not having to watch for undercuts and overlaps, but just see how this plays out in the pits. Actually, bit of pit lane action for everyone. So the gap for Leonardo was 2.8 on pit entry. As you can see, there's more and more. Everyone's coming in for GT3. I don't think anyone is staying out. Is Danny Gold? Danny Gold staying out? Oh. As Craig Lua is exploring new parts of the track there. So Danny Gould has continued. Danny Gould is the only one of GT3 who I can see who has stayed out. See whether he has fuel saved or that Mustang is very good on the tank, but Danny Gould is continuing and he's now inherited the lead of that race. Leonardo Vera has came out, Giovanni is out, Kasperzik is out. Where is Chadha? Chadha has lost out. Chadha has lost out. He's down in P5. That's to be a net P4. So I'm not sure what happened to Chadha in the pit lane, but he's lost out there. And Bigot is also out as well. As I'm now on board, so the hypercars are now also in the pits as well. So Adam Moda and Cesplar are all in the pit lane. We've got cars struggling to get out there because there is no ghosting in LMU. So you've got to be very careful in the pits. You can't ghost in and out of cars. So you've got to be very careful. You can just park the car at any angle there. As you can see, the pit lane, the pit crew will turn you out. So pit out for Adam Cesplar. Geitz, so Geitz is ahead. Geitz is ahead. So Geitz is leading this race. Ursu is in P2, Cesplar third, and Adam Modin 5th. So a new leader in the hypercar category, a new leader in both categories. Brandon Geitz now inherits the lead of this race. And 3 seconds back is Andrea Ursu. I'm just got to keep our eyes on Danny Gould because he did not box that last lap. So we've got to see where he comes out of as well compared to Leonardo Vera. He's going to come out behind because the gap is only 10 seconds to Leonardo Vera. But yeah, okay, so Interesting round of stops. Just quickly on board with... Oh no, sorry, Cody Besselink is just coming out the pits. It's very... the telemetry was saying he was very close to Chris Jones, but Chris Jones was in the pits as well, so that's why it was showing you as so close. So Chris Jones now exiting pit lane and hunting down Cody Besselink. That's the battle for 16th and 17th. The boss will be happy. Oh, Cody's gone! Cold tyres. Cold tyres, cold tyres. Well, they won't be cold now because they'll be about 100 degrees after he spun those up. But that'll be... Chris Jones would have seen an absolutely first-class view of that. And said, thank you very much, Mr. Besselink. I will have 16th place off you. Stu Rogers, let's quickly jump on board with him, the 88 Mustang, because he's battling along with Nigel Longden, the battle for 15th in class, 36 overall. He's quite close to Longden. We'll stay on board with this for the moment. Down the back straight, and there you go, slipstream being picked up by the Mustang. They've got Carl Van Horn, the 777 up ahead as well. Gap just coming down ever so slowly. And Danny Gould is now pitting in as well from first place. So Danny Gould, who was leading the race, that's not Danny Gould, that's Cash Brisick, there he is. Has he run out of fuel? I think Danny Gould has run out of fuel. He has. Oh dear. Danny Gould, who stayed out from everyone else, has run out of fuel and could not make it to his pit box. And that is his race over for the 44 BMW. Wow. Anyway, William Giovanni, he is closing the gap. This is the battle for first place in GT3 category. Leonardo Vera leads, William Giovanni in P2, the gap down to 4/10. What can happen here with 33 minutes remaining on this race? Got to remain patient, just stay in the slipstream, stay in the tow and pick your opportunity. And that Mustang will be mighty quick in a straight line though. As Cesplar has just got by Andrea Ursu, so change in Hypercar. P2 now for Adam Cesplar. He's just over 5 seconds behind down the road from Brandon Geitz in P1. So from Francesco Adamu, he was having a storming race, is now down in 6th. And surprisingly, we've got 8 retirees from this race. A lot more than Spa last week. Surprising. Sorry, 9. Danny Gould is one of those as well, as Carl Van Horn is now coming into the pits as well. So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. No, it isn't. I tell a lie. Craig Hill was closing on João Pedro. I think he still is. So just over half an hour remaining. Giovanni just getting a little bit closer to Vera. This is the battle P1 in GT3. I'll just bring the GT3 class up for you on the screen. Hypercar, just navigate all your yellow flag somewhere. Yellow flag somewhere on track. Not sure where that yellow is. Chris Tedder is still trying to close in on Valerio Ascione. Giovanni, still half a second to Vera. He's trying to pick up a toe from that Mustang. What I want to know is what happened to Joseph Chadha, because Joseph Chadha really lost out in that pit lane fiasco. Kasperzit gained, running 5 seconds behind Giovanni. That was Chris Tedder. Chris Tedder was DNF'd. So I'm not sure what's happened to Chris. That's another retiree from this race, as Jan Barth is also in the box as well in Hyperclass. So I'm not sure what's happened to Chris there. The yellow flags were out a moment ago. John Brunel and Ian Thompson, they're battling away for P10th and 11th in GT3. Brunel just now under 2 seconds from Ian Thompson. Brunel in the McLaren. Illinger, Dominic Illinger, P9 in Hyperclass. Again, within a second now of Timo Braun in P8, the BMW car, who I think was the BMW who we saw doing some very handy grass cutting earlier on in the race, trying to overtake some GT3 drivers. Fantastic shot of the drivers coming through the Porsche curves. Weather is staying nice and sunny and cloudy. Sunny and cloudy. Cloudy with sunny intervals is probably the correct term there I should be looking for. Oh, the a little bit of game lag there, I think. Just made that BMW look like it was all 6s and 7s going into the braking zone, but I think it was just a little bit of lag or FPS issue there. But nonetheless, Braun staying ahead, just under a second ahead of Dominic Illinger, who we're on board with. We've got a Porsche up ahead to contend with in GT3. So he's going to just wait and then accelerate out of the corner. That would have just lost him a little bit of time to teammate Braun. And Francesco Adamu, now this is the battle we want to see. Domikos Kiss and Francesco Adamu, he's got past. So Adamu up into 5th place, takes that off Kiss, who falls back to 6th. So an overtake on track there. We've got a yellow flag out as well. Another yellow out. Not sure where that is. I don't actually have the track map up, so I can't see where the yellow flag is, so apologies for that. It's now gone green again. Illinger is now even closer to Braun, the BMW. So can a move happen? No, they've got to be careful because they've got a couple of GT3 cars up ahead as well, which they should navigate quite easily on this following straight. So what can Illinger do versus Timo Braun? They pull to the left hand side of the track, easily glide past the GT3s, which you would expect, but can a move be done in the braking zone? I think Illinger is going to make a move here. We shall soon see as they hurn down the slight right into the braking zone. No, I am mistaken. No move yet from Dominic Illinger. We'll see what can be done though. So as a reminder, just use this opportunity to quickly bring you just another plug for our premium main series sponsor, which is Cube Controls. Formula Racing League Season 2 on Le Mans Ultimate is powered by Cube Controls this season. A huge thank you for their support to this season. Please do check out their website and check out some of the merchandise they've got, some of the sim racing gear. It absolutely really is truly top quality, handcrafted Italian workmanship there. Pedals and steering wheels on offer for the drivers in this, as Illinger through the Porsche curves, Illinger and Braun looking extremely racy. Oh, again, just a little bit of lag there. Apologies, so that's my end or their end, I'm not too sure. But either way, we will forget that. Timo Braun has not gone on to the Shadow Realm. He is still on track and he's still ahead of Dominic Illinger. You can see how close Illinger is now. He's now pulled to the right. They're going to go side by side through turn 1, and Braun didn't really fight that one too much. Probably saw that Illinger was the quicker driver and didn't want to lose too much time perhaps. So Illinger up into 8th place in Hypercar category. Sesplar and Geitz, the gap 1.5. We'll keep an eye on that as the race progresses into the final 20 minutes, and Leonardo Vera still battling away with Giovanni. In fact, Giovanni, the lead now just under a second, so lead change there, I believe. So the gaps for the rest of GT3 are fairly lengthy. There's no real battles going on track at the moment. These are the closest pair in GT3. Let's quickly switch back to Hypercar though, because Adam Moden is making moves on Ursu again. Really good position now for Adam Moden. Is he going to be close enough to the number 5 Porsche? They've got a Mustang. Oh, there's contact! There's contact! That's the 88 Mustang. That's Stu Rogers. Stu Rogers in the barrier, being collected by Adam Moden. I'm not too sure whose fault that was. I'm trying to replay that in my brain, just what I've just witnessed. I think it was a racing incident. Is he going to get the car back running again? I think he's done. I think he's done. It's so hard with the cars going through the Porsche curves, but let's just quickly flip back to the lead of Hypercar, because Brandon Geitz is now under extreme pressure from Adam Sesplar. The gap down to half a second. This is the battle for Hypercar. This is the battle for the lead of the race, with 19 minutes remaining here for round 2 on Formula Racing League TV at Le Mans. It all comes down to this battle right here. Is this going to be the starter of a 3-course meal for the final 18 minutes? They've pulled side by side. This is the lead change, potential lead change in Hypercar. It is. Adam Sesplar gets the move done down the inside and takes the lead of the race. Adam Sesplar, who started 3rd on the grid, I believe, maybe 4th. I think it was 4th on the grid, if my memory serves me correct, has now inherited 1st position. But can Brandon Geitz respond? He's in that tow, just on the brakes, following him through. Can he get a good enough exit out of this corner, the Peugeot? Here he comes. Is he going to run out of straight though? I think he is. Under braking. What's the exit like for the Ferrari? Pretty good. Really good pace from Adam Sesplar. Ferrari looking mighty on the straights compared to the Toyota. Sorry, to the Peugeot, beg your pardon. Peugeot looking mighty through these Porsche curves. Sesplar just struggling for a little bit of aero grip there, because he's closed right up. There's a flashing light there of the Hypercar being lapped. Really closed it there. Brandon Geitz with an absolutely mighty final sector of that lap to really close the gap. But the straights, the Ferrari just gallops down the hill, down the road yet again. And quickly back on board with Adam Moden, they're side by side with Ursu. We saw these two battling away a few moments ago, and it's take 2 between these two. Ursu gets back on through up into P4 against Adam Moden. Dominic Illinger and Braun, they're still going at it. So GT3, switch our attention back there. William Giovanni leads GT3 category with a lead of 2 seconds. The 46 BMW. Leonardo Vera is P2. Kasprizik is P3. Joseph Chada is running in 4th position in GT3. Danilo Lasik, P5. Timo Bigot, P6. Driver of the day for me, up 19 positions odd in this race. Tom Curtin is P7. He's running quite a way back though, 15 seconds back from Timo Bigot, and he's 11 seconds ahead of Stephen Martin in P8. So a lonely race for Tom Curtin. And it's a lonely race for Stephen Martin as well, because he's got a 30-second lead on P9, which is Rudy Vermeulen, who's on your screens this very moment. 33 seconds back from him is Ian Thompson in P10. And Tom Brunel is in P11, just under 2 seconds. We was on board with Tom Brunel about 10-15 minutes ago, and the gap was around about 2 seconds. It has come down a tenth or two since then, so slow but steady progress for Tom Brunel. He's trying to make gains on the top 10 in GT3 with Ian Thompson up the road for him. 11 seconds back from Tom Brunel is Mark Stewart in P12, as he is just taking a different track line, avoiding the BMW Hypercar. Nigel Longdon is 13th in category, just under 3 seconds back from Mark Stewart. And then 21 seconds down the road is Cole Van Horn, the 777 Aston Martin. Alex Nieto, who hasn't been on the screen much today, running quite a lonely race, all the way down in 15th. And Moody, the 777 as well, Aston Martin 16th. Derek is 17th and Pavel Vetlugens is 18th. And their last runner on track for GT3. So that's your running order in GT3. For Hypercar, Adam Sesplar is leading this race. Brandon Geitz, the gap is now 2+ seconds. So Brandon Geitz is starting to surrender the lead of the race with 12 minutes remaining. Francesco Adamu, P3. Adam Moden, P4. Andrei Ursu, P5, as he's coming into the pits. Ursu is coming into the pits. And that has boggled my mind. I cannot tell you why that is. I'm not sure if that's an issue for Ursu, but it must be. So Dominikos Kiss inherits P5. Benjamin Eck will gain up into P6 with that. He's just coming by now. We'll just wait for that to flick over. Yep. Dominic Illinger, P8. I wonder what's happened to Ursu. Oh, was it a drive-through? It could have been a drive-through. I don't get that information on my overlay, so on my telemetry, so apologies. It's probably very obvious to those drivers who are on the stream or watching this back thinking, well, of course, they were serving a drive-through penalty. But that must have been what it is. So Ursu re-emerges in 6th position. Benjamin Eck is now 2.8 seconds behind Ursu. Illinger is 8th. Timo Braun is 9th. Valerio Ascioni 10th. Alex Alfonso P11. João Pedro Sodra is P12, and he's having an almighty battle here with a bit of paint being traded with the Mustang in GT3. He was catching Alfonso. He's 1.4 seconds back. Craig Hill is 13th. And Chris Jones, the head FRL admin here on Le Mans Ultimate, is down in 14th in class. It looks like he's carrying some damage as well, which is not a surprise, as we saw him and Jan Barth coming together earlier on in the race. Cody Besselink, P15. Maurizio Savona, P16. Jan Barth, P17. Simon Turner in 18th. Patrick Den in 19th. And Craig Luer is your last running hypercar tonight in 20th position. So, gaps. What is happening on track? Gap to Adam Sesplar is now 4.2 seconds of Brandon Geitz. So, I think if I was a betting man, my money is on Adam Sesplar to bring this race win home with the final 10 minutes remaining. We shall see what happens though. It's not over till the fat lady sings, as we say in England. Cody Besselink is just starting to make gains on Chris Jones. On board with Cody now. And that's Chris Jones up ahead. Chris doing a pretty good job of just maintaining that gap to Cody Besselink. And the lead in GT3 currently being held by William Giovanni with a 4.8 second lead to Leonardo Vera. So again, William Giovanni in GT3 and Adam Cesplar have got these races under control at this moment of time. So close battle on track at the moment is the one you're seeing on your screens right now. Cody Besselink and Chris Jones battle for P14th and 15th respectively. Mark Conway, P3 is catching P2 in Hypercar. He is. You are correct, Mark. Francesco Adamu, 1.3 now. The gap down. So, Mark Conway is correct in the live chat. Gap is coming down ever so slightly. Brandon Geitz's pace has just fallen off here, really, after being overtaken by Adam Cesplar. So as a reminder, join us this time next week as we'll be live from Sebring. What a track, and that is going to be carnage, I think. Sebring really is a phenomenal track. I know some people love it or hate it, but it's a bumpy ride, that's for sure. I'm really looking forward to Sebring next week as we see Adamu just being held up ever so slightly by the Porsche. It could be Joseph Chadder. I did the 12 hours of Sebring last month with my sim racing team, SRT, Simjet Racing, and yeah, we had a great deal of fun. Myself, Dom Joy and Mike Tucker in the car in LMP2. So fond memories of that, and we're looking forward to seeing Sebring in action this time next week. But that's next week. We've still got 5 minutes of action here at Le Mans. Cesplar gap 5 seconds now. And, just missed the onboard overtake, but Chris Jones has lost that position to Cody Besselink. So Besselink up into 14th in Hyper. GT3 is pretty stable, but I say stable, not so stable as Nigel Longden, because Nigel Longden is now within under a second of Mark Stewart. This is the battle for P12 and 13th in GT3, but Nigel Longden hoping to make some gains. This, end of the day, this is it is only 12th position, but it's championship points up for grabs, and over the course of the season, every position counts. So let's see what Nigel can do. Mark Conway, great plug. Look, I can't commentate without mentioning our team, can we? Simtech Racing. Hopefully, if you are watching, keep an eye out for us on track. Simtech Chronicle Racing. We are a friendly bunch on ACC, Le Mans Ultimate, and iRacing. We're on all three. Peter Van Lieshout in the live chat. What a beep race, practice all week long, steady pace, no mistakes. Tonight it all went to beep, 3 minutes of damage, no point in racing for P22. Thanks, Peter. I'm pleased you've managed to test out the bleeping machine on the live stream tonight, so that works nicely. Yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. Sometimes it just happens. What more can I say? Sometimes it happens. It just goes like that, and that is just sim racing, unfortunately. But hopefully we see you back at Sebring, mate. As this battle here, look, is getting very, very close between Longden and Mark Stewart. They're side by side, the BMW versus Aston Martin. Heart of Racing, Aston Martin down the inside. Longden gets the move done. Up into 12th position in GT3. Fantastic racing between those two drivers. And on board with Francesco Adamu in Hypercar, because Mark Conway mentioned a few minutes ago P3 is catching P2, and how right he was, because there's now half a second gap between Brandon Geitz and Francesco Adamu in Hypercar. Just got Stu Rogers coming into the chat as well. I was just laughing at Peter's comment, the bleeping machine is working nicely. I'll be back at Bumpy Sebring. That's the spirit, Peter. We'll see you next week, mate. And also just to plug as well, if you are watching this live stream and want to follow any of the drivers on YouTube or Twitch, Peter Van Lieshout does live stream on YouTube as we see the Peugeot and the Ferrari going at it. This is the battle for P2, Brandon Geitz and Francesco Adamu. Adamu trying to find his way past. How dare they interrupt my plug for Peter's YouTube channel, but go and follow Peter on YouTube. He live streams all his races. He's a great guy. Give him a follow, give him a like. Down the back straight, the Ferrari versus Peugeot power. We've seen Geitz just struggling in a straight line compared to the Ferrari, and Francesco, I think, has got this move in the bag. They pull alongside each other. He's going to have the inside line. No, he's going to have the outside line, isn't he? Yes, he is. But he gets the move done. Round the outside, but it locks his brakes. Locks his front right tyre, I believe, the Ferrari. But he still keeps ahead of the Peugeot. So that is Adamu up into second place. Brandon Geitz falls down to third position. Adam Moden not too far behind these guys, 2 seconds as well. So under a minute remaining, and this is your race leader overall and leader in Hypercar, Adam Cesplar. What an absolute drive from him tonight. Hang on, Geitz has got past Adamu. I'm just talking about Cesplar, and these two are not giving it up. I thought Geitz was was a goner in third, but he says, no, Mr. Commentator, I've not given up on second position. I'm going to have another crack at it. And had another crack he did, but it's not quite successful. But this is not over. This is the battle for second position. Geit and Adamu side by side again. Oh, a little bit of touch. I think there's contact there. A little bit of paint traded between the Ferrari and Geit round the outside, down the inside now, into the left-hander. A little bit of a switcheroo potentially. Look at the exit. The exit of the Ferrari is mega. He's going to have the outside though to the right-hander. So Geit will cover that off nicely. And the Ferrari's getting a little bit sideways on exit. And that's Adam Modin involved there as well. So Adam Modin. Unbelievable racing between these three. This is a battle for the podium. Where's Adam Sesply? He's going to take the checkered flag. Let's just quickly flip back to the battle between second, third and fourth though, because this is ultimate racing at the death here at Le Mans. Brandon Geit's trying to hold off Adam Modin now. Where's Adam Sesply? Here he is. I'm trying to make sure I capture the checkered flag. I don't think we get a white flag on LMU. Now here's the checkered flag. Adam Sesply is your race winner at Le Mans Round 2, sponsored by Cube Controls on Formula Racing League TV. Francesco Adamu takes second. Brandon Geitz will hold off the charge of Adam Modin to take third at the final podium spot. Adam Modin in fourth. Domikos Kiss is going to come across the line in fifth position. Let's just go over to GT3 because William Giovanni has got a 7-second lead on Leonardo Vera. And William Giovanni is only a few corners away from taking the checkered flag here at Le Mans. Fantastic drive from him, fantastic pole position. Stunning race from William Giovanni. Takes the checkered flag. P1 in GT3. He is your race winner tonight. Leonardo Vera, 8 seconds back, is going to take second in the Ford Mustang. And Kasprizik will come home in third. Wow. Chatter in fourth. And Lysik is 37 seconds odd back, but he will be fourth position as well. Whew, let's just try and get my breath back on that, because the battle for the final podium places and the final few corners in Hypercar was pretty epic. And I might have even got a bit confused with who I was commentating on, so forgive me if I was mentioning the wrong name in that battle. It just all got a little bit carnage there. I can't. But either way, fantastic to watch live on stream. I'll just quickly have a quick look. The last people across the line, Moody and Derek still running. Pavel's Vetlugens not yet taking the checkered flag. Timo Bigot comes across the line and overall gained an insane amount of positions in that race. I think he gained 19 odd places, and he will be my driver of the day without a shadow of the doubt. So let's just bring you the final results, because a lot of cars taking the flag at the moment. Let's just bring you the final results. So on your screens you should see right now the race winner tonight, the Ferrari of Adam Sesplar. Francesco Adamu is in second position, and Brandon Geitz, who was involved in a lot of battles throughout the race, takes the final podium step here on round 2 in the Peugeot. Adam Modin P4, Domikos Kiss 5th, Benjamin Eck, who we didn't see a lot of on the stream because he was quite running on his own, but he came home in a very respectable 6th position. Dominic Illinger 7th, Timo Braun 8th, Valerio Ascioni in 9th, and Alex Alfonso is in 10th. That's your top 10 in Hyperclass. In GT3, William Giovanni wins the race. Leonardo Vera second, Kasperzik third, Joseph Chadder fourth, Lasik fifth, Timo Biggett sixth, Tom Curtin seventh, Stephen Martin eighth, Rudy Vermeulen in ninth, and Ian Thompson, very solid race from Ian Thompson, came home in 10th position. So those are your top 10 in GT3. That's your top 10 in Hyperclass. I really do hope you have enjoyed the live stream tonight. It has been a fantastic race. It's been two brilliant races, really, if you think about it. Spa last week with the changeable conditions and the various lead changes in both categories, and tonight we've seen more of the same. The first 20 odd minutes was a four-way battle in GT3. The pit stops changed that slightly. We saw, you know, that the gaps just fade after the pit stops, but the first half of the race really was full throttle action. Thank you for joining me on the live chat. Before I go off air, let's just have a quick look at the calendar again. We'll have to remind ourselves where we're heading to. So next week, this time next week, May the 2nd is going to be Sebring. May the 9th we head to Portugal, the Algarve for the Portimao Grand Prix. May 16th Monza, May 23rd Bahrain, May 30th Imola, and June the 6th will be the season finale back here at Le Mans with the no chicane variant of this track. That is your season calendar for the upcoming races, and just a reminder, that was the final seeded round of this season. So from Sebring, from next week, the drivers will be split into Tier 1 and Tier 2 based on their first couple of races, race results for the first couple of races. So that was your live stream for tonight. As I said, thank you for joining me in the live chat. Great to see so many of you chatting away, saying hi to me. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back here again next week. For any of the drivers watching back this race, you've definitely served up a good one. And for the live viewers who are not racing but watch this, I will try and get a couple of driver interviews lined up for Sebring next week. So leave that with me. Let me see what magic I can work throughout the upcoming week and see if I can get a couple of driver interviews post-race lined up from Sebring. So for whatever you're doing for the rest of the weekend with your family, with kids, with gaming, with sim racing, whatever you are doing, could even be mowing the grass, who knows. I hope you have a good one. Take care, and we'll see you next week from Sebring. This has been Lewis Robinson, Formula Racing League.